motivation. Go, go, go.
Welcome to Hands in the Sky podcast. I am your host, Rizzy Shy, and this is our third episode so far. And this podcast today is going to be titled Motivation. And so I know you guys just heard the song that I was just playing by the incomparable Kelly Rowland of Destiny Child, but this was when she branched out on her own, and she did a solo joint with one of the best lyricists in the game, featuring Little Weezy. So one of my favorite songs that I like. But I was just sitting down one day because this is what I do in downtime, and we'll get into it later on down episode. What I do in downtime. But this is one of the things that I do in downtime is I like to look at videos, old school videos too. Not none of this new stuff because it ain't really feeling me, or I ain't feeling it. But this one right here this one got to be probably about over a decade old right here, and so it came on, and motivation. She's talking about a different kind of motivation than I'm gonna talk about today, but it's still a motivation. So once I seen the video, I heard the video, I was feeling the video, I knew I had to make a podcast about motivation. So today's podcast is gonna be about motivation. Okay. As I see it. Okay. Motivation is needed. You know, I'm not gonna say everybody should be motivated, but guess what? Everybody should be motivated. Motivation sometimes can be the key to the bridge that you need to get over the hump on some things in your personal life, in your career, um, in your financial life, anything with life on the end of it. Sometimes you need a little bit of motivation to kind of give you that little extra to get you going, to get you started, to help you get to the finish line. So today we're just gonna talk a little bit. I'm not gonna hold you long, but as always, I'm gonna hold you. So we're gonna talk about motivation today. You know, um, and I guess we just start off like, what is motivation as you see it? So motivation for me is like it's like almost having like a superpower. Like you're born with it, but you gotta use it or you will lose it. So it's almost like a muscle. Everybody's born with motivation, and you just have to know what it is and how to use it. So I guess to answer my own question, motivation is it's like your inner thought. It's like your inner being. It's like something that you can't see or touch or taste, but it's there. It's almost like water and air. It's like it exists like that. It's like all seeing, you know. So to me, motivation is one of those things that exists because you know it exists, if that makes sense. So to me, motivation is just something that you just naturally have, and you just got to know how to use it. It's almost like riding a bike when you was a kid, and your mom or your dad took you out front and put you on the bike, and you learn how to what and you learn how to ride. Got off the training wheels, and you learn how to ride on two wheels. And from that point, you knew how to ride a bike. Nobody had to show you how to ride a bike again. Okay, I look at motivations kind of like that a little bit. Like once somebody show you how motivation works, you got it. Once you show yourself how it works, you got it. It's just one of them things that it's always with you. You just got to just know how to use it. So I guess that would be my like long form definition of motivation. And then I guess we go to why do you need motivation? And I kind of talked about that earlier. To me, you need motivation because it's like a bridge to the puzzle. It's like the last piece to the puzzle, to kind of put things in perspective. Sometimes we need motivation to just get to our goals, to get to our purpose, you know, to get to what it is in life that we angst for, that we desire, that we want, that we need, that we dream about. And sometimes motivation is what kind of gets the fire started, kind of get the party started, if you want to go that route with it. So sometimes you do need motivation. And speaking from a personal perspective, I do need motivation. I haven't always needed it, haven't always used it, but it was always there. And as I get older, I noticed that I need a little bit motivation for some things. And so say for instance, right now, I'm kind of like on my health journey, right? So um I get up and I do like 4 a.m. workouts. Yes, you heard me. 4 a.m. workouts. Alarm going off at 3:45. By 4 o'clock, I'm already in that sweat. You see what I'm saying? And I'm doing it for motivation because I want to keep my health together. And as you get older, you know, health is important. Health is wealth. You're gonna hear that always from me. Health is wealth. So that's one of the things that motivates me. I don't want to fall off and have to work just as hard to get it back. I just want to just keep it. So working out is motivation for me. I don't have to go through all this. You know how I go. Pick up weight, lose weight. You go to the doctor. This wrong, that wrong, that's wrong. A lot of stuff can be reversed. Without getting too into that part of it. But the motivation part will keep you going, and it'll keep you where you don't want to wind up. Nobody wants to be in the hospital. Nobody wants to be on all this medication and all this stuff. So sometimes working out is the cure for that. And so you have to have a motivation. And so that's why I do a 4 a.m. workout, because I got to be motivated to do it. I can work out just as good as 2 p.m., you know, but I know at 4 a.m., most time I'm not going to want to get up and get my day started doing that. And that's the motivation within me to get up and do it, because I know I need it and I want it. So again, if you're asking yourself, why do you need motivation? That's just one of my little opinions about why you need it. And I guess we move on to to me, motivation also has like levels. Like a level 1, level 2, level 3. It's like kind of like an elevator. The higher you go up, the more motivated you are. You know, so to me, I guess if you start on level 1. To me, level 1 would be like an average, just average motivation, just average stuff. It's nothing real, funky about it. It's just regular motivation stuff. Just let me see if I can think of something. Just something regular. Just okay, something like you say. Most of us drive cars, and you want to keep your car together. So winter coming, you want to get your car. You want to rise, so you motivated to just keep your car together, get the oil change, get tune up, get the tire rotated. You know, probably paying the car note, so you motivated to keep the car going because you needed to get to work and all that. It's just average stuff. You know, go to the grocery store, you want to just get regular stuff. To cook because you don't want to go out and eat. That's kind of like just regular motivation stuff. If I buy the stuff that I need, it'll keep me from going and getting fast food and all that kind of stuff. That's what I mean by just regular motivation. It's really nothing in it. It's just regular stuff that you do, but it kind of motivates you a little bit. Okay. And then I think we come to level 2, which I would say is the steady. It's the steady level, the consistent level. Okay. These are the things that you're doing all the time, all the time, all the time. Getting up, working out, going to the gym, you know, vlogging, writing, praying, going to church, connecting with your family and your friends. If you say you're gonna do it, it's already done. You know, that's the level that you on. You on that second level tip. So it's just steady. You got that motivation and you want to keep it. If I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. If I'm gonna say I'm gonna get up and work out, I'm gonna get up and work out. If I said I'm gonna apply for this job, and want to increase my career, I'm gonna do it. So that would sometimes require going back to school and doing stuff like that. But basically, it's steady. You know, You don't have to worry about it because it's there. It's always there. It's just a part of your DNA. It's like we all go through trials and tribulations like with dieting and stuff like that. But I was once told, um, if you eat like you're supposed to all the time, you won't never have to diet. I'm like, that kind of makes sense. So that's kind of like what we on when we talk about on the steady part. You doing it all the time. You motivated to do it, but you're doing it all the time because it's part of your DNA. And then I guess you get to the third level, which is the highest level, I guess, and that's the go get it level. I mean, man, you know, and you can see it on the internet, on YouTube and all that, social media stuff. You can see people going to get it and how they got their life structured. So, but it's a go get it mentality. You want it, you see it, you desire it, you go get it. And I'm talking about high level stuff, career changes, going above and beyond, believing in yourself. You know, people telling you can't do it, you're telling yourself you can do it. You know, um, you know, starting a family, getting married, having kids, and still you ain't falling off. You constantly setting goals for yourself. You constantly setting levels to get to and achieve. And actually, the people around you, they start doing it because they see you doing it. That's like I said, you on that go getter mentality, starting your own business from scratch. Moving to a city that you don't know nobody, and you just you get it from the ground. You got that go getters mentality. That's all you think about is how I'm gonna get it, when I'm gonna get it, and what I need to get it, and that's the go getters mentality. And a lot of times, that's the one we see the most if you're looking from like a social media perspective, because most people don't want to put the average stuff out there, because like the man, they don't want to do that. They want to put the go getters mentality because they want people to see them do that. Me on the other hand, which level am I on? I'm probably on level one. I'm just a regular guy doing regular stuff. I got regular motivations, you know. So I got a little bit of level one and a little bit of level two in. Okay. And I'm just kind of starting off with this. So I've always had level one with, again, just the average stuff that you do, but you're motivated to do it. And I'm learning to do level two, which is the steadiness, the consistency of it, trying to make it part of your DNA. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I said, I ain't gonna keep you. If they say I ain't gonna hold you, I'm not really on the third level yet. I know I'm gonna get there. I want to be there. I just got to figure out how to do it. I'm talking full out go getter mentality. So I'm in a combination, a combo, one and two. More so one right now. Two, I'm just learning. And actually, you know what? Coming just from a personal perspective, I kind of like the steadiness of it. I like the foundation of having a set schedule to do stuff. It makes life so much easier. I haven't always been that. I was mostly just like just a fly by night type of guy. Just got up and did stuff when I did it. If I said I was gonna do it, I did it, but I procrastinated. I let it just sit there for a while, and I'll get to it when I get to it. But now I'm learning to put stuff on a schedule and keep it. If I say I'm gonna do it at this time of day, that's when it's gonna get done. If I say I'm gonna do it on this day, that's when it's gonna get done. And I noticed too that I bought a what you call a planner, like a day planner. Because I'm a pen and paper type of guy. Everybody do stuff on their phones, and I do too. But I'm old school. I like pen and paper. So I went out and bought me a planner. And in my planner, I'm writing down all the things I need to do on any particular day. On this particular day, I got an appointment over here. On this particular day, I need to go do this over here. On this particular day, I need to connect with this person. And I like that it keeps me motivated, which is the, the topic, because it keeps me on schedule. So I like to stay on schedule. So that's the second level that we talked about, being steady. So that's one of my little tidbits. I keep a schedule and I look at it often. I look at it every day, and I got things in there highlighted based on what type of event or what type of situation it is. Whether say you got to go to the gym, or you got a doctor's appointment, or you got a meeting at work, or something. You got a deadline to meet. I got everything like highlighted in color by what type of event or situation it is. So yeah. So those are the to me those are the three levels. Again, I'm thinking I'm a combo 1 and 2. I'm gonna get to 3, and when I get there, I'm gonna let you know. Because when I get to 3, I'm gonna stay there. and 1 and 2 is just like it's gonna be in the wind. Because the third step, I think everybody wants to be there. Okay, so and then I guess, like, for me, what do you do to motivate yourself? We talked about what is motivation, why you need it. We talked about levels of motivation. But what do you do? What motivates you? What do you do to motivate yourself? And I think one of the things I do to motivate myself is I listen to music. I do. I listen to music. I listen to all kind of music. I'm an R&B cat, by trade. So I listen to a lot of R&B music, but I also listen to a lot of jazz music. I love listening to jazz, and it relaxes me. I haven't always been a jazz um, connoisseur, but I am now. And I got an auntie that's 80 something years old, and every time you call her, you can hear her jazz in the background. So I kind of like, oh, okay. And she told me one day, she said, nephew, you need to start listening to jazz. It relaxes you. You think you know everything. So I said, well, let me try it. And guess what? Shit, if it didn't work, it worked. So yeah, so that's one of the things that I do to motivate myself is I listen to music. Jazz, R&B, and the last one is a new one for me. I'm really starting to kind of get into gospel music. I don't know a lot of gospel artists, but the ones that I've been listening to lately have been doing it for me. I've been listening to Tasha Cobb. Um, you can't not listen to gospel music and put Kurt in there. You ain't got to say his last name. Yeah, what up, Kurt? And Ty Trevitt. I've been listening to him. So those are some of the people that I listen to kind of get me motivated. Other things that keep me motivated too is I guess if you're coming from a financial perspective, things that motivate me is having money, especially when I need it. So I'm always motivated to save money. So when I need it, I got it. I don't want to have to ask anybody for it. I've always been like that, but I'm so much more like that now. As far as being motivated. So when I get my check, I'm putting something up. You give me 100, I'm gonna put 25 up. You give me 1,000, I'm gonna put 250 up. And I've always been like that. And so as you get older, I still have that trait in there. And I guess we go back to that being like steadiness on the level 2 side of the game. And I also invest my money. I just don't stick it under the mattress. I put it in the stock market. You know, stocks, bonds, and stuff like that. I do have a broker that handles that, but I watch him, and I guard everything like a point guard. You know what I'm saying? But it's motivating because I know at some point I'm going to want to retire. Okay. And I do want to retire. That's one of my goals in life. I want to retire. I want to know what it feels like to retire and don't have to get up and go to work. That's motivation for me. So I make sure from a financial perspective that I'm doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing with my money. I'm not overspending. I'm not spending frivolously. I'm staying on budget. I'm investing. I'm saving. Okay. That's what motivates me. Having money and having it when I need it. And then on the later side of the game, I do want to retire, and I want to retire comfortably. I don't want to be like some of these people out here. And it's not wrong with it. They're in their 80s and they working. I don't want to do that. For my 80s, if I'm working on where I'm going next, what I'm doing next, rather than working the next day. I don't want to do that. Okay. Um, So yeah, so I just wanted to just talk today about just a little bit things about motivation. I think we all need motivation in our lives. I think we need to talk more about motivation because a lot of people are just not motivated to do stuff. They don't know how to be motivated to do stuff. And so, if you got people around you, talk to them about motivation. It's one of those. I don't know. It's one of those kind of you can kind of offend somebody if you tell them, "Hey, you need to be motivated." They can take that the wrong way. So it's all how you say it, And if you see somebody that needs to be motivated, especially like if you're a parent and you see your kids, especially when they get to that teenage level, there's things that you can do to motivate them, and keep them motivated. A lot of kids they like money. Hey, you do your chores, you get your allowance. Now they motivated. Take the garbage out, clean the house, clean the garage. I'll pay you. Motivation. So motivation comes in a lot of forms. And I guess when we're speaking from kids' perspective, I guess the earlier you start with showing them how motivation works, the better in life they're gonna be down the road. You know, you don't want to get to my age and don't know how to motivate yourself to do stuff. You want to already have that um, pretty much pigeon-toed. In your early years. At least in your 20s. You got to know how motivation works and how to use it to your advantage to help you out. Um, and I guess as we just round up this podcast, one thing that I've found that motivation comes in crazy places. You can be somewhere and you can see something, and it just motivates you. You could just be just walking through the mall and you could just see somebody, wearing a certain outfit. And you're like, dang, he rocking that outfit, man. You know what? You know, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get me an outfit like that. It might be something that's just kind of out of your wheelhouse, but now you motivated. Or you see somebody driving a certain kind of car, or living in a certain type of neighborhood, as far as a house and all that, and it just motivates you. But there's crazy ways to be motivated in today's world. A lot of times you turn on the TV, turn on social media, it's there. And but you shouldn't have to do that. Motivation should come from within. It's okay if you get it from the outside world, but it should come from within. Nobody should have to motivate you to do anything. Motivation is your key to success. You want to be successful? Motivate yourself. You know, I haven't always been a guy who has been successful on things like that, but I am now. And you know why? Because I'm motivated. I'm motivated to do the things that I need to do to keep me going. I'm motivated to keep the things that I have to keep them. I'm motivated in my health and I'm motivated in my wealth. You know, if I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. Okay, so that just that's just where we at today. So I didn't want to hold you long. But like I said, I was gonna hold you. So think about it. And as always, we always leave with a word that is positive. And today's word I'm gonna leave you with today is power. What's your power? Okay, and that's gonna be probably our next podcast. So that's what I want to get you thinking, like power. What is power to you? How do you use it? It is something that you can use every day. You know, what does power mean to you? Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna leave on that word on power, and we're gonna come back on the next podcast and we're gonna have a little talk about power. But that's our word for the day, power. What's your power? Where do you get it? How do you keep it? How do you achieve it? What does it look like when you don't have it? What does it look like when you do have it? Will be your motivation.
Yeah. Go, go, go. Motivation. Go, go, go.
And we out. Peace.